followed by last night a walk-off blast. And now Game 3 of the Wild Series comes your way next on Baseball Night in America. Cannot ask for a better day in our nation's capital. Temperatures in the high 70s for some National League East baseball. It's the Nationals and the Marlins. Baseball Night in America on Fox here at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. And welcome to the broadcast booth. Along with Tom Verducci, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Hey, if you're looking to be entertained, I think we have the right choice for you here because the Nationals have their three-time Cy Young Award winner, Max Scherzer, on the mound tonight.
Man, when I think of Max, I think of intensity and pure stuff. That makes him one of the best watches in all of baseball, unless you're a hitter, of course. He's the toughest pitcher to hit in the league this year, leads the league in strikeouts. Every time he takes the ball, you think something special might happen. He is headed to a 6th straight All-Star game, which, by the way, happens to be played right here in D.C. Now, one of his teammates on the National League All-Star team will be Marlins catcher JT Realmuto. He is making a case to be the best catcher in all of baseball. Look at all these categories that he leads in. This guy is a centerpiece of a rebuilding team, but tonight he's up against the ultimate test, facing Max Scherzer.
Nationals may be starting to get hot. They've won the first 2 games of this 4-game series, and now it'll be Game 3 tonight. A little Saturday Night Baseball here on Fox with Baseball Night in America, and Harper and the Nationals and Scherzer on the mound against these young Marlins. First pitch from D.C. is coming your way next. Probably should have told the Marlins fans to maybe look in another direction, because this is, well, it's a little bit ugly, because starting this series, the Nationals won the first 2 games in exciting fashion, but it goes way back beyond that. The Nationals have beaten the Marlins, Tom, 13 in a row. That obviously goes back to last year. It's the longest active streak of any opponent against anyone, so it's been a while. for the Fish.
Especially difficult to see that inside a division. You see a team so much. They're due, I guess.
The issue is they're due against this guy.
Yeah.
That would be Max Scherzer.
Good luck.
So here is the lineup that Max Scherzer is going to face. There's some changes in there today. Brian Anderson, their really outstanding rookie, is out of the lineup for the first time all year. Martin Prado, the veteran, not playing today. So they'll have some young fellas trying to get the job done against the 3-time Cy Young Award winner, Max Scherzer.
I mean, look at these numbers. The strikeouts and walks really stand out for me. Premier strike thrower in this game. What makes him so difficult for me, 4 different put-away pitches, among the best in the game. You better swing early. You get the 2 strikes, the average is 118. And we'll talk about his special delivery, the way he releases the baseball.
And we are underway in D.C. with strike 1 from Scherzer, facing Derek Dietrich to lead it off. Dietrich did not play in last night's ball game, but he's having a heck of a season. And it's 1-1. Dietrich's already got 11 home runs. His career high is 13, so he's showing some power moving around infield, outfield. And leading off tonight on an absolutely fantastic evening. 1-2 to Dietrich. As you all know, coming to D.C. in the middle of the summer when it's less than 90% humidity, you're doing pretty well.
It's nice not to be sweating, isn't it? This is a beautiful night. Oh my goodness, doesn't get any better for baseball.
One and 2 to Dietrich. And that'll go into the seat. So here is Max Scherzer, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, has won the last 2, and boy, the way he's going might be on the way to another one. He's been fantastic again, but he's looking for a win. He hasn't had one in a while, and it's not his fault. He's been pitching really well, but the Nationals have scored a grand total of 4 runs for him in the last 5 games, and no wins to show for it. So see if that changes here tonight. Actually, his last start against the Red Sox, he was struggling early, but he kind of powered through and gave him 6 innings, allowed 3 earned runs in that start. 2-2, and the count goes full to start it off.
2 strikes, and he showed the fastball up, the changeup down, and the cutter in, and Dietrich is still in the box. That is a professional AB.
Payoff coming. Look out. Pay attention down on that camera well. Yikes.
Another cutter. Dietrich's got a couple of home runs in his career off Max, including one off one of those cutters that Max didn't get all the way in. That, to me, Kevin, that pitch to cutter is the difference for me. This guy is always looking to get better, and he's got to a career high with that cutter. He'll throw that instead of the sliders to left-handed hitters.
And Dietrich goes against the shift and has a leadoff single for the Marlins. Good at bat to start things off.
I'm telling you, it's hard to overestimate or underestimate how good of a bat that was. We talked about how difficult Max is with 2 strikes. 118 is because he has so many weapons.
That was impressive. 8 pitches in that at bat. As we take a look at the Nationals defense tonight, Michael A. Taylor back in there, so he's in center. Harper was in center last night. He moves to right, and Soto, the 19-year-old, has been splendid in left. And you move to the infield. No Daniel Murphy for the 2nd straight game, so still trying to get back from that knee surgery and not quite there. Here's Starlin Castro. And Castro swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Taylor calling and catching for the first out. And so, Tom, that'll bring up the man you talked about in the start. It's JT Real Muto. And if you're not a hardcore baseball fan, you might not know much about this guy.
No, but you really have to learn how good of a player he is in all aspects of the game. We talked about leading all major league catchers in many offensive categories, but he's become really a premier receiver behind the plate. Well, his pop time, the way he gets rid of the ball to second base, is among the best. He's just a great athlete who's getting better.
There's only one thing he hasn't done well. That is hit against Max Scherzer in his career.
And a lot of people could say that.
1 hit and 24 at-bats against Max. And typically it's been sliders like that away, fastballs up. That's the way he's pitched him.
Two and 0.
You might notice how early JT gets his foot off the ground to get himself ready to hit. Over the years, it's actually gotten up earlier and a little higher. He's got a great ability to stay balanced, but his whole plan is, I need to get myself ready to hit as early as possible.
Two and 1 to Real Muto now, with Dietrich on first. Started off with the leadoff single.
And one thing Mattingly likes to do, Don Mattingly, with this Marlins team, is to start runners. If he's got some components to start a runner, play a little hit and run, he's got a couple right here, he's aggressive with starting runners.
And time is called.
Yeah.
Late, Scherzer almost fell down on that one.
Max practices this. It's at the hold position where he will just stay there to freeze the feet of both the runner and the batter. He's going to hold as long as possible, and JT finally said, I've had enough. It's a good way to hold the runner and freeze the batter as well.
Long pause there, and it's outside, so it's 3 and 1. You know, it's interesting, you talk about the Marlins putting runners in motion, but they don't steal at all. Only 20 steals. It's second least, second fewest in the league.
Yeah, they don't really have base stealers. They have good base runners, though. With the lack of power they have, starting runners is a good idea.
Dietrich not going. This one to short, should be 2. Here comes the turn. In time. 6-4-3 double play, and that's that. So Max Scherzer gets the ground ball he needed. Bottom 1 from DC when we come back. Nationals, Trey Turner, he's been hot of late. He will lead things off. No Daniel Murphy one more time. Adam Eaton out of the lineup. Got a lefty on the mound. That has something to do with it. And Wei-Yin Chen is the guy the Marlins will throw out there, who's actually coming off maybe his best 2 starts together as a Marlin.
He has, but he's a guy who's much better at home in that bigger ballpark. He's a fly ball pitcher, and that park suits him perfectly.
Well, Marlins have that spacious yard. It's so deep to hit a home run there. Here, fair, but not quite the same. Trey Turner will lead things off for the Nationals against Chen. He takes inside for ball 1. Well, Turner who knows, maybe on Thursday you point back to that game if the Nationals make a deep run in the playoffs and you circle that one if they turn this thing around. They have been playing some poor baseball since the beginning of June. And they had a team meeting and they were down 9-0 to the Marlins on Thursday to start this series. And Trey Turner basically single-handedly went crazy. 8 RBIs, a grand slam to go ahead after being down 9-0. And they've won the last 2. So we'll see if they can build some momentum as he takes strike 1. It's 2-1.
Hey, he's been building a highlight reel just in this series. His defense has been spectacular. You mentioned all the RBIs the other night. He's been on base just about all the time, but the range that he has shown in the arm has been very impressive.
Two and two. Chen is 32 years old and he's in year 3 of a big contract. Marlins gave him a 5-year, $80 million deal, which has not worked out. He's had a ton of injuries. Count stays 2-2. So what are we looking at when we look at Wei-Yin Chen, Tom?
Well, when your road ERA is the area code in Louisiana, which is 9.85, that's not good. You got to get that down. As well as the changeup, he's got to get that down. Batter's hitting 400. He's left too many up. And he's not the kind of guy you're going to extend third time around through a lineup.
Count goes full here.
Batting average third time around against Chen is .405. You know, some pitchers you can hang with them. Scherzer obviously is one of them. Chen, not one of those guys. When he starts to lose it, it's time to get the bullpen in.
Payoff pitch to the leadoff man. And Turner stays alive. Well, it's not a hard thrower. Throws about 90-91 with his fastball. Tom mentioned the change getting beat up. Has a slider in there too. As Don Mattingly told us, he's really the key because the way the Marlins play, just keep him in the game. Win-loss, Marlins haven't been great, but they do fight as Turner is popped up. Out number 1 by Chen. So let's look at the defense behind Wei-Yin Chen for this Marlins team. It's radically different than it was last night. Dietrich in left, Cooper is in right. We'll talk about him during the broadcast. Rivera, well, wait till we tell you about his deal in center. And then the infield mixed up too. Riddle at short. They put Rojas at third. Bohr and Real Muto, kind of the constants.
Wait a second. Did you say Rivera in center field?
That is correct.
When has that happened?
Never.
Go get him.
Yadiel Rivera making his first ever appearance in center field. He's 26 years old. He's been in the minors for a long time, and he's always known as a glove guy in the minors. But you know, Lewis Brinson is on the DL. Cameron Maybert has been playing every day. They don't have another natural center fielder as Soto is jammed, and they're quickly 2 away. So it'll be fun to watch him out there. Let's check out tonight's keys to the game, and they are sponsored by Ford.
Well, for the Marlins, Wei-Yin with 5. That's 5 innings from Chen. He's only done that twice in his 7 road starts. They need some length. And for the Nationals, just give Max 3 runs. He's not asking for a lot. When the Nats give him 3, he's 53-8.
I see what you did there, the Wei-Yin. I like it.
You got that, huh?
I like it. I'm a fan. Well, Wei-Yin has gotten 2 quick outs here to start this first inning, and now it's Anthony Rendon. With the bases empty, first pitch swinging on 94 from Chen. Normally he's in the lower 90s, but getting up to 94 tonight must be the weather. Perfect conditions to be on the mound. Rendon at 281. He's got 12 home runs, 37 RBIs on the year. You see Chen so far. Rendon tomahawks one. This is crushed. Deep left field. Is it fair? Is it foul? It is foul. That was to concourse land.
Yeah, just caught it a little too far out in front. Anthony Rendon has such quick hands because he has such a simple swing. All he does, watch the front foot. It reminds me of Albert Pujols back in the day. Just kind of lift it a little bit off the ground, get it back down. Very simple swing.
He'll try it again. He takes inside, 2-2.
And that's the antithesis of the guy on deck when we'll talk about Bryce Harper and his swing and how many moving parts he has. Rendon, very few moving parts.
He's never made an all-star team. He's just ultra consistent. He's an excellent fielding third baseman. Waiting on a 2-2 here in the first. And strike three. So Chen, an effective first inning as he sets the Nationals down in order. When we come back, we get more of Max Scherzer on the hill. Scoreless game after one. Podcast is brought to you by Budweiser. Take some out to the ball game. All-Star game sign. Well, it'll be here in just over a week in Washington, D.C. But first, we've got to play tonight. A little regular season action with the Nationals and the Marlins as we start the second with Max Scherzer facing first baseman Justin Bour, who takes strike one with a fastball. Bour is home. He lives in the area, went to college, George Mason in the area, and has hit some home runs here at this ballpark. Always has family involved. But right now finds himself down 0-2 against Scherzer.
Well, Justin to me is a great fastball hitter. The way to get him out is to slow him down because he can turn around anybody's fastball. For Max, that usually means change up away or cut her in. There's the change.
He got him. You called it, Tom. Goes away. Got his first strikeout of the night.
I mean, we talked about the weapons. This looks like a fastball all the way in. And the way it comes off the smaller fingers on his hand, he just deadens the baseball so well. There's a good shot of the spin on that changeup as well. That side spin is what's going to give it not just sink, but some run away from the lefties.
Now it'll be Garrett Cooper, who, if he looks like a giant on television, that's because he is. He's 6'6", 230. And the Marlins are really intrigued by him. He just came off the DL yesterday, had a couple of hits in that game. I asked Don Mattingly if he knew what he had with him yet. He doesn't, because he got hurt the second game of the year. He's in the minors with the Yankees last year, but he's intrigued.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Gary Dembo, who runs the player personnel for the Marlins for Derek Jeter, came from the Yankees. And when they acquired this guy, Garrett Cooper, they had pegged him as the best hitter in the minor leagues at the time.
Wow. Falling behind 1-2 to Scherzer, though. Left side, here's Rendon. 2 outs.
You know, I asked Don Mattingly against Scherzer, we talked about how tough he is with 2 strikes. How does that affect your approach at the plate? And he said with the greats in the game, like a Max Scherzer, you can't cover the entire plate. You basically have to narrow it down to a side or an area. Not a pitch, but a side or an area. If you try to cover 17 inches on Max Scherzer, that's not going to work.
JT Riddle, the shortstop tonight, takes strike 1 with 94 from Scherzer. Riddle with the night off last night. He's been hitting a little bit better last 9 games. Right into the shift. That's an easy one for Defoe and an easy one for Scherzer. Sets the Marlins down in order in the second. Bryce Harper looking to break out of a slump. Can he do it? Well, we'll find out. It leads off when we come back. Tonight's telecast is brought to you by Verizon. Now go mix and match family unlimited plans. Here in our nation's capital, what a night for baseball. Just perfect temperature-wise, high 70s. Scoreless game so far. Scherzer went 1-2-3 in the top of the second, and now here's Bryce Harper to lead off the bottom of the second inning. And Harper takes ball 1, and Harper, Tom, has just been ice cold. I mean, since May 30th, he's hitting 167. You see his overall season numbers. He is getting on base. He does lead the league in walks, but it has been, well, we just haven't seen this from him, especially for this extended period of time.
No, Kevin, he is in a deep mechanical funk right now. We talked about his swing. To me, it's like a Formula One engine, right? It's very complicated. When it's right and everything's precise, man, it's a thing of beauty. It just hums. But one little thing goes wrong, one little piston misfires, and the whole thing falls apart. And that's what's happened to Bryce. I'm sure it's now frustrating in terms of the mental approach, but he has some serious mechanical flaws in his swing right now. And it's not by lack of work. He's trying to work through it. And if you see him take a pitch away and hit it the other way, that would be a good sign for him.
taking 3-0 all the way, and that's a strike. It's 3-1 from Chen.
Chen struck him out 3 times at the end of May. Fastballs up, sliders away. The ball away has been giving him a ton of trouble this year.
3-2.
He should be sitting fastball right here. You've already seen Chen in full counts today throwing fastballs. He throws fastballs 80% of the time on full counts. This should be fastball away. Don't look to turn and burn. Look for a heater away.
Payoff. Harper has himself a base hit. So they shifted everybody to the right side, but he found a home, and he's on first to lead off the second inning. That brings us to our Swiffer, powerful cleanup hitter. We told you Harper slumping with the average, right? And you see the drop. Last year he was having an MVP type campaign. He got hurt and missed 6 weeks with the knee. That's the largest drop in average in the majors this year, over 100 points.
But that was a good swing. I mean, Harper knows the numbers 3-2. He got the slider and was still on balance. Out front, yes, but not too far out front. Still able to get it in for a base hit.
Mark Reynolds gets into one. This one is deep to left. This one is carrying. This one is gone. On back-to-back pitches, he had a walk-off to win it last night. First pitch swinging here, 2-run home run. Nationals with the lead.
As you said, KB, back-to-back pitches and almost the same pitches. Fastballs, middle in. This ball he wants away. That's right in the nitro zone of the one strong man. He knew it as soon as he hit it.
He now has 11 at-bats against Wei and Chen, and he's homered 3 times. That is what he does. Mark Reynolds still doing it. Left side, tough hop of Rojas with a good play, and that's the first out of the inning to retire Taylor.
It's like a 3-point shooter in basketball, huh?
That's exactly right.
Don't give me those layups, those little dink hits. Big fly from Mark Reynolds.
He's the Kyle Korver of the Nationals. Who knew? You know, it is funny though, because he's been on what, 6 different teams the last 6 years. I think when you look back, and look, he is a home run specialist. That's what he does. But he hit 30 of them last year, and I thought he would have a home at the beginning of the year. Nationals picked him up.
He couldn't get a job. 30 home runs.
Well, he's got one now as Defoe, easy play. Rojas makes it 2 down. But that'll be interesting when Ryan Zimmerman comes back, and was talking to Zim at the cage today, who of course has been in this town for 14 years and was an all-star last year and has been out for a while, but he's getting close now. Hitting in the cage, getting close to going on a rehab assignment. Get him back at first base. There's Ryan.
Yeah, they'll start getting into some roster crunches here as they get healthy.
Well, another one is for the position who's up right now. This is Pedro Severino, the catcher. They've been without Matt Wieters as the veteran for a long time now. Where's the bunt, and it's 0-2.
Man, normally I'm not a big fan of 2 outs, bases empty, trying to bunt for a hit, but he's trying to clear the pitcher. Now that's not any pitcher with a bat in his hand. Max Scherzer can swing it a little bit, but he's trying to clear the spot to have Max not lead off next inning.
Plus, as we know, Max would prefer to have the bases loaded when he hits Tom. That's how he thinks about it. Severino in an 0-2 hole. And Chen gets him with a fastball. But the Nationals strike first. Mark Reynolds, the hero last night with the walk-off home run. The hero so far today, 2-run shot. Well, thanks to that man, Mark Reynolds, who hit a 2-run home run in the second. And joining us now from the Nationals dugout is their manager, Davey Martinez, kind enough to throw a headset on. So, Davey, that's the plan, huh? Just tell Mark go up and swing and hit home runs on back-to-back pitches, right?
Hey, sounds good to me.
Hey, we talked to you earlier, it was just with Bryce Harper, and you know we put in a lot of extra work today for the game, and I know it's only one hit, but something like that has to feel good for you and he, right?
Excuse me, boys.
No, it's okay. We'll get a little water if we have
He's
to.
getting choked up. He's touched by that base hit.
The little sunflower seed went down the wrong way.
All right, well, Dave, go. You get a little drink.
There we go. Yeah, that was gratifying. Took a couple pitches, worked the count to 3-2, was able to get a base hit. He's been working hard with K-Long on staying on the ball, staying on top of the ball, and it worked out right there for him.
As Scherzer dealing to Rojas, and Defoe makes the play.
Hey, David, let me ask you about Max, because that last time he came out against Boston, and he was throwing it hot and heavy, 96, 97, 98. Tonight we see him kind of cruising in that right-hand lane. Talk about the ability of Max to operate with different game plans, if you will.
Yeah, he always has a game plan coming into his face a new opponent, and as the game progresses, you might see him throw 96, 97. That's how he is. So right now he's just trying to work efficiently and try to get ahead of hitters and get quick outs. You talk to him. His objective is to get outs in 3 pitches or less.
No, he's doing that right now. Davey, go manage the game. Thanks for taking the time with us. We appreciate it.
You got it. Hey, thanks for bringing the good weather.
Yeah, really. We got lucky with that. Davey Martinez kind enough to throw the headset on. Tom, we did say, we had Dave Roberts on a few weeks ago, and Matt Kemp homered while he was talking. So we told him that's.
You did call that, yeah.
Good things happen when the managers throw on the headsets with us, right?
I think he's coming back next inning.
He might. Meanwhile, Yadier Rivera taps out quickly, 2 down here in the third.
I'm telling you, Max is making this look easy. That's why I asked Davey Martinez about that. He is executing a game plan tonight. I don't want to say he's pitching to contact, Kevin, but his secondary stuff is just so good right now. He's getting easy outs quickly.
And, this team, they're not a home run hitting team. They do make a lot of contact, right? They usually put a pretty good back together. So that and the fact that we're talking to Don Mattingly, said you don't really want to go too deep in the counts. Well, they're not. Chen swings at the first pitch. That's about as easy as it gets. 5-pitch hitting for Max Scherzer. Middle of 3. Catch the FIFA World Cup semifinals on Fox. Pogba, teen sensation Mbappe lead France against Hazard and Belgium. Coverage begins Tuesday at 1 Eastern on Fox. Stream it live on Fox Sports app as well. Watching that quarterfinal with Russia and Croatia. That was unbelievable earlier. So Wei Chen out on the mound, and he took a little while here to get out on the mound, throw his warm-up pitches. They actually kind of gave him an extra clock here because he made the last out.
Not only did he make the last out, Kevin, he got jammed severely by that Scherzer fastball.
Rattle the hands a little bit. We take a look at the LG G7 pitcher profile on Wei Chen, and you talked about this home versus road. I mean, these are stunning numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy. ERA over 9, but look at the home ERA. And I do think, at least, listen, you should always be more comfortable in your home park. But it's almost like a golfer who plays the course better right to left, and there's a lot of dogleg lefts, right? The course at home, Marlins Park, suits him well because he's a fly ball pitcher, and he can just funnel fly balls to the center of the field. It's hard to leave that yard.
Right. He's allowed the home run so far to Reynolds here. A little bit easier. Not that that's a gimme poke, but anything is easier than Marlins Park, with the exception of, I don't know, maybe Kansas City. Max Scherzer will lead it off, and as Tom mentioned, he is no gimme at the plate. He's a good athlete. He's a good hitter. He actually loves to hit. He has 1 career home run last year. My favorite, though, Tom, is that this year he's got a stolen base to his name.
And he kind of warned his manager, David Martinez, right? Hey, they don't pay attention to me. I'm going to go. And what did they do? They presented him with the bag.
They did. Scherzer takes a big swing here. Ballpark will hold it as it's the center. First opportunity for Rivera making his first play out in center field. He doesn't get cheated. That's the first out of the inning. Yeah, after he stole that base, David Martinez had a little fun. They took the base and presented it to him post game. I like what you asked. Said, did he check with you, or did he just go?
You know, I know Max wanted to hit there, but if I'm David Martinez, I'm okay with him making the out there. You've got a 2-run lead. You're in complete command of this game. I don't need you on the bases showing us how well you can run the bases.
This guy can run the bases. That's Trey Turner, who is 0 for 1. Popped out in the first inning. On the corner, and it's 1-1. Nationals can run as a team. They steal a lot. Of course, a lot of that is with Turner and Michael A. Taylor, who's in the lineup today. They've got 65 steals as a team. It's 4th most in the league, but Turner and Taylor have 45 of those steals.
Well, he puts so much pressure on the interior defense, Turner. Even from the right-handed batter's box, he gets down the line so quickly. Especially JT Riddle at shortstop, who's playing sort of a normal depth there. He'll start to creep in as the pitch is made. Anything more than 2 steps to his right or left, that's a base hit.
Although Turner pops up here again. 2 down. And that'll bring up 19-year-old Juan Soto, who came up and grounded out pretty quickly his first at bat. But we have to talk about what this young man is doing. I mean, it has been a sensational beginning for him in his young major league career. His numbers on the year are spectacular, but I think what's impressed me, and I know it's impressed you, he does not chase balls out of the zone.
Not only that, Kevin, to me, he's most impressive when he does not swing. By that, I mean the way he takes a pitch on balance, and I'm talking about borderline pitches. For a 19-year-old, that's a good example. That's a strike right there, but he sees the ball so well. I can't recall a teenager on balance with plate discipline like Soto has.
Swinging here and pulling it foul. Well, you want to talk about some greats in the game, teenagers. We're bringing out the old footage here. I like this. Now check out these numbers. Highest OPS as a teenager. This is a minimum 150 plate appearance. Mel Ott is on there. Mickey Mantle. That's awesome. That's what he's done at this point. He's in an 0-2 hole here, though, in his second at bat tonight.
And no, Kevin, I did not see Mel Ott play. I have no idea how well he took a pitch.
I was going to ask you what his exit velocity was. And the other thing, if I could add on to Soto, is amongst all this and his patience and his power and, you know, his ability to just take pitches. How about going the other way for a young hitter? He goes the other way 33% more of the time, 33% of the time more than he pulls the ball.
It's a great sign, and Kevin Long, the hitting coach, talked about his power the other way, not just taking it the other way, but going yard.
0-2 here. Good pitch by Chen. Got him inside with 93 miles an hour. So give that one to Chen. Pitched him well, and he has a 1-2-3 inning. Through 3 in D.C. It's the Nationals 2 with the Marlins nothing. Tonight's telecast is brought to you by Chevy, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall, and by Boost Mobile. 2-0 Nationals lead the Marlins. Top of the 4th inning, as the All-Star game indeed will be here in our nation's capital on the 17th of July. Along with Tom Verducci, our entire MLB on Fox crew, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you along on a Saturday night as Max Scherzer is in cruise control. 17 of his last 18 pitches have been strikes.
I think this guy knows what to do with a lead. When Max has a lead of 2 runs, which he's got right now in his career, he's 133-9.
I like those odds.
2 runs is not a whole lot. That's
No.
a bloop and a blast.
Incredible.
This guy, that's a lot.
That's a .940 percentage. That is unbelievable. Meanwhile, the best at bat against him all day was this man, Derek Dietrich. Not this time. He is jammed in a big way, and Defoe puts him away. 1 down. You know, Tom, the thing that's impressive among a lot of things with Max Scherzer, 33 years old, he may be getting better as he goes on. I mean, he has won the last 2 Cy Young awards. He's won 3 overall. These are guys with at least 3 straight. So Scherzer can do that. There's all 3 that he won. Of course, the last 2 years, they're trying to make it 3 in a row. He has taken his game to a new level since he's come to Washington.
He has, and I'll tell you, Kevin, he wants to be great. That kind of greatness matters to him. Being good, which he is, that's not enough for this man. He knows baseball history, sets extremely high goals for him. And you talk about getting better. The strikeout rate gone up every year, and the contract the Nationals gave him. Since signing that deal, he's got more wins, more strikeouts than anybody in baseball. loves the spotlight. Interesting talking to him about the All-Star game. We had a great conversation with him.
That was fascinating to me.
He actually doesn't mind and prefers actually pitching in the game, even on 1 day of rest on what normally would be a bullpen day. And why? He said it can prepare you for the postseason. Remember, he did that last year, Game 5.
Last year, yeah.
Didn't turn out the way he wanted, but the fact that he went through pitching in the All-Star game on 1 day of rest, he said prepared him for that exact scenario in October. Some guys are running away from the game, looking for excuses not to pitch. He wants the ball.
2-2 to Castro. And Castro gets into this one pretty good. Carrying to left, and it's gone. Starlin Castro gets the Marlins on the board with a solo home run, his 6th of the year.
That looked like a rare curveball for Max. He's not going to throw many. Castro sees a ton of breaking balls. Yeah, that's just a hanging curve. He's pitching to Castro's weakness more than his strength right there with that pitch selection. Pitch selection was fine. Execution was poor. That's his 5th best pitch.
Yeah, he doesn't throw it often. That's only the 3rd one he's thrown tonight, and Castro took care of that. Castro's been on fire. 5 straight games with 2+ hits for him, and that gets the Marlins on the board, and that brings up JT Realmuto, the catcher, who grounded into a double play his last time up. Quickly behind on the fastball. It's 0-2.
I talked to JT about this matchup. He said, you know, I seem to see the ball well most of the way, but because of the way Max throws the ball with that offset delivery, it seems to work away from me.
Realmuto puts a charge into one. This one is deep to left. Gone! How about that? Back-to-back home runs off of Max Scherzer, and we're tied.
That's got to feel good for JT. 1 for 25 in his career against Max. This looked like it's the cutter they didn't cut. Slider with just some cement mixer spin on it.
On an 0-2 count. Wow.
Yeah, I talked about the ability for JT to hang with that high leg kick. Makes him such a good off-speed hitter. He took advantage of a second mistake by Scherzer.
First time all year the Marlins, who don't hit any home runs, have gone back-to-back all year, and it's against Max Scherzer. Now you tell me that makes any sense. Scherzer angry, and he gets Bohr on a strikeout.
But you called it. Remember I said he was in the right-hand lane? That's over with now. This is 96, his best bullet so far. He's got more than that in the tank. There was some hair on that one, some anger. Yeah, he's in the left-hand lane now.
Oh, yeah.
Out of my way.
He's merged. It'll be Garrett Cooper, the hitter. 95 now, Scherzer, who had been sitting 94 all day until that last pitch to Bohr. And he could bring it up to 99 if he wants. Although 95 works just fine, apparently.
Yeah, to me, he's best with that fastball up there. Anything top of the zone, even slightly above. Get it above the hands because he has such a low release point. Tough to get on top of it.
That'll get your attention. And 1-2 to Garrett Cooper.
You see, severely missed location. Looking to get that one away from Cooper.
1-2 coming. Got him. Went off speed beautifully and gets his 3rd strikeout of the night. But the Marlins making waves. Castro goes deep. Realmuto follows it up. All of a sudden, we're tied at 2 in D.C. Back-to-back home runs by the Marlins off Max Scherzer, and we got ourselves a ball game tied at 2 in the home 4th inning as Anthony Rendon leads off against Wei-Yin Chen, who has been good tonight. He allowed the home run to Mark Reynolds, but other than that, he's been in a pretty good groove. Struck out Rendon his first time up, and it's 1-1.
He's got a little bit more second time around here through to the off-speed stuff. That was one of his better changeups. Fastball here.
Rendon to third. 1 out, and here comes Bryce Harper. And Tom, we talked about the slump. He got to hit his first time out, but you've seen a lot of mechanical things going on with Harper too.
Yeah, I talked about everything that's going on and out of sync. That's earlier in April, a home run. The ball is released out of the hand. Look how low he is last night. He's sinking more into his legs, which is creating a more upward path on the baseball. And that's something that they've really worked on him. And actually this afternoon they got out here early. He's always been a guy to sink into his legs, but he's gone much deeper into his legs, and that's creating an upward path to the ball. So he got out here early, and what they really worked on off a tee, which obviously slows everything down, literally the baseball is not moving, to make sure the path to the ball was a little flatter. And what they did was they would set a tee up on the inside of the plate and one tee, and again later on the outside of the plate, and it was all about getting that muscle memory to that bat path the way that it should be. What you notice here, he's not going to sink as much into his legs when he hits the ball. Watch the path of the bat. What he had been doing by sinking so far down into his legs was coming up too much on the ball. And that swing right there, that last one on the one away, the ball away, he was hitting all those to left field.
Look at that. That is a bullet to right center. Harper will take the turn and stop at first. So Bryce Harper is 2 for 2, and maybe all that tee work really got him in a good frame of mind.
Absolutely. Kevin Long has to be ecstatic about the work because Bryce here again is on balance. Watch, he's not sinking nearly as much into the legs, and the bat path is much better. That ball is squared up. The head doesn't drop nearly as much. But that is a great example of getting out to the ballpark early, 1:30, 2 o'clock, putting in the extra work on the field and having it pay off with 2 results. But more importantly, even if that wasn't a hit, Kevin, it's a much better swing. We haven't really seen that swing for a good 2.5 months.
So Harper's on again. Mark Reynolds has a 2-run home run in this game. He had the walk-off home run last night, and he actually takes a pitch. It's upstairs. But I have a follow-up on the tee. Now, usually guys do the tee work a lot of times inside. You don't see guys off the tee outside very often. Why do you think that was the case?
Yeah, I think, and I asked Kevin Long about that because normally a hitter will do all the tee work inside, but he said to get outside, actually away from the cage, because everybody's hitting in the cage, right? You have the whole field to yourself. You get out there super early. You go at a relaxed pace. You can see ball flight off the tee. In Bryce's case, he really wasn't interested in ball flight. It was more just, let me have some quiet time to work at my own pace.
So far, good results. Reynolds down the line. Here comes Harper to third. Ricochets in to left. Harper racing round third. Here comes the throw. He's in. RBI double for Mark Reynolds, who's driven in all 3, and it's 3-2 Washington.
He went off speed after getting up the home run on the fastball, and he stays back just enough off the end of the bat to keep this ball fair, and a great piece of base running by Bryce Harper. He is a premier base runner. He'll almost run into JT Riddle here, or maybe it's Castro here. They almost catch feet right there. He said, get rid of that helmet. It's slowing me down. He cuts the bases so well. Fundamentals very good on the bases for Bryce Harper.
So it's 3-2. Nationals jump back in the lead, and here's Michael A. Taylor with a chance for more, and he takes inside ball 1. We saw Harper trying to get that helmet off. He had a play a couple weeks ago where the helmet came off when he was running to second, and it knocked him down. it kind of got caught in his legs. So now when he runs, he tries to get it out of there so it doesn't hit the back of his legs.
He's got to show off the flow.
Well, that's obvious, Tom. It's great flow, but we didn't get treated to it this time. Nonetheless, he's 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. As it's 1-1 to Taylor, getting the start tonight. So Michael A. Taylor's been an interesting case, right? We know he's got a lot of talent. He leads the league in stolen bases this year. He's big, he's got some power, but he's still been a little bit of an enigma. He was good in the playoffs last year for Washington. He got a lot of time playing when Eaton was hurt. Started off really slow, and now even Martinez trying to find the right times to play him because they have kind of an overflow in the outfield. So he's playing tonight against the lefty. And it's 1-1. And Davey told us he thinks maybe now is kind of the way that's suiting him, playing 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, it's tough on a young player not getting regular run, but when he's out there, he's a premier defender in the outfield. I think, as Davey told us, he's really good against the changeup, and that was a great take right there. He's got some swing and miss in his game, especially on balls up in the zone.
2-2.
You see, JT wanted that pitch up a little higher than that. That's the spot. Good take by Taylor.
Well, there it is. He's been playing a lot better, as evidenced by the last 32 games.
See if he goes back to the fastball here.
Missed. First walk of the night by Wei-Yin Chen, and it's 1st and 2nd. MLB.TV now available at a lower price, $82.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV. Take advantage of this special offer. So the walk to Taylor, that'll bring up Wilmer Defoe at second base tonight. And it's ball 1. So we told you that Defoe playing, you look at the base runners, just 1 out.
And no Murphy again. But Davey Martinez, the manager, telling us after a couple of days off here, he should be good to go to the All-Star break beginning tomorrow.
Yeah, and we talked to Murphy yesterday, and he said it's not a pain issue. It's almost like his brain is telling his body to do something it's not quite reacting yet.
Yeah, that's rust, right? It's a pretty serious surgery on the knee. Had never been through anything like that before, and he's learning how to essentially work your way back while you're on the field in terms of some of the things you can do, especially at the plate. He told us a little bit limited at the plate right now.
Slowly hits. Riddle only play at first, and he gets the out. Both runners advance. Yeah, he had microfracture surgery on that left knee. That's a big deal. And I don't know about you, but I feel like if the Nationals are going to make a big run, he's got to be a part of it.
Oh, there's no question about it. I think he will have a big second half. I do think they'll have to watch his playing time. With Zimmerman coming back, Matt Adams is back. He essentially has to play second base. I like this decision here by Don Mattingly. A lot of managers might pass the number 8 hitter to face the pitcher. Chen handled Severino pretty well and got him out of the strike zone. And that will be the game plan here.
Although comes inside for ball 1.
And again, you've got a pitcher on deck who can swing the bat. Not an automatic out waiting for you in the 9-hole.
One and Severino's really struggled. Talked about the injury to Wieters. You know, Sometimes when the backup plays every day, all of a sudden the numbers aren't there. Hitting just 170 on the year. Two and one.
Don't ever have to give in during this at bat, though. Again, game plan should be throughout this at bat. And that last pitch, a good example. See if you can get him out of the zone.
Gets the call. 2-2.
Yeah, it's not often you get that call when you miss location. This ball is supposed to be in. It's on the other side of the plate. Real Muto has to reach across the plate. It's rare you get that pitch when the catcher has to reach across his body, unable to frame it.
Sure is. Actually did look like a strike though, but awkward when the catcher has to do that. 2-2 now. Runners second and third. Severino popped up. And that's that. So the Nationals leave two, but they do get one. Bryce Harper's 2 for 2, maybe break it out of that slump. Mark Reynolds also 2 for 2. Get that helmet out of here. Come on, show us that hair. Top five we go from Washington, D.C. It's the Nationals 3 and the Marlins 2. Nationals jumped out in front of the Mark Reynolds home run in the second. Marlins went back-to-back with home runs in the fourth, Castro and Real Muto. But then Reynolds delivered with an RBI double. That's where we stand here in the fifth. It's J.T. Riddle, the shortstop, who will lead it off against Scherzer, and he takes strike one, squaring around a bunt.
Not a bad idea. Rendon is playing in, as you see, but still far enough off the line. If he got the bunt down near the line, that's a base hit.
Let's see if we got the shift on for Riddle.
Oh, 2. It's almost shocking to see Max give up the home run. 0-2.
Well, what was that?
And his last start against Rick Porcello.
That's right.
An 0-2 3-run double.
It's a good call. I forgot about that.
How about this? The last 2 years, Hitters 14 for 184 on 0-2. And 2 starts in a row now. Extra base hits 0-2. Double home run.
Plus, you gave that stat about Scherzer with a 2-run lead, 133-9. Marlins are pesky, and that's what Don Mattingly said, right? He said, "Look, we may not be winning, but you got to show them that not winning is not okay, right? You got to have progress, teaching, and you got to have the whole thing." They have been in most of their games.
Yeah, I liked what he said. They're comfortable playing these kind of games. These are the kind of games they win. They're not going to blow out many people. They're not a team that's going to get a lot of runs via home run. And with their bullpen now, he's pretty strong in terms of 4 deep in that bullpen. He's comfortable in these games. That foul ball got Mark Wegner like in the hand. Try to hide behind the catcher, and the ball finds you.
Ooh.
In the arm. That'll leave a mark.
Yes, it will. Do it again, 2-2, and he fouls it off. Yeah, what Mattingly said is, look, you want to be patient, but you don't want to be okay with not winning. It's kind of combining the both. But one thing's for sure, he's a good fit for this team, right? Because of how he loves to teach.
I agree. He teaches the right word with Don Mattingly. I always thought he was one of the best hitting coaches in the game. Just understands the game so well. I think he's a good fit for a young team.
It's a 10th pitch of the at-bat here for JT Riddle, hanging in there against Scherzer. 3-2. Riddle hits one right center. Harper on the run, not going to get it. One hops off the wall. JT Riddle, big turn. He's going to head for third. Here comes the relay, no throw. A 10-pitch at-bat, a stand-up triple for JT Riddle.
Yeah, Max left a changeup up. He bounced one earlier, but 3-2, he wants to throw it for a strike, and that's just up there too high. Good job by Riddle hustling towards second, because once the ball is bobbled slightly by Harper, right here, he's gone. And that is big 90 feet. Less than 2 outs, pull the infield in. See a lot of runners just kind of pulling with that stand-up double, and Riddle had a great read to get the extra 90 feet.
And now the infield coming in for Davey Martinez in a 1-run game in the 5th inning with Rojas at the plate. You know, you see Freddie Gonzalez, third base coach. Of course, he was the manager here. He was the manager of the Braves for a long time. I was talking to Freddie about Riddle yesterday. And again, another one of these guys they don't really know yet. He's like, what do you think? Give me a comp who you hope that he can be. He said, you know, I can compare him to a guy like a J.J. Hardy, a guy that's not flashy, but I think can hit. I think can make all the plays. Hardy was a 2-time All-Star. I think if Marlins ever were to get that, they would be stoked.
And J.J. Hardy was a manager's dream.
Mm-hmm.
When the ball was hit to him, you were out. He threw as true of a ball at the first base as I've ever seen. Developed power, ran into some injuries late in his career, but he was a rock for the Orioles. Rojas is another pesky guy at the plate here. He'll spray the ball all over the field. Well, 2 strike counts. You're usually in trouble against Max Scherzer. We said at the top, hitter's just 118. And you get behind a 2 strike count on Max, but they've made him pay tonight. 3 hits on 2 strike counts.
And he fights it off into right field, and this game is tied. RBI single for Miguel Rojas, that after the triple from Riddle. And these Marlins are making it tough on Max Scherzer.
I'm telling you, pesky. That's Rojas. I like his approach at the plate. He just carves this, and that's Max's best bullet in terms of velo tonight. 97. And he just fights that off. Really good at bat. Marlins now have come back twice on Max Scherzer, erasing leads.
Impressive. Big swing for Yadiel Rivera, the center fielder. Again, first time ever playing center field in his baseball career. That's minor leagues or major leagues.
Yeah, he's got to tone down that swing, though.
He's a little hefty.
Yeah. Take a cue from what you saw with Rojas right there. Shorten up. Less is more.
Way behind on 95. It's 0-2.
What do you call it, KB? Way behind on that. I would duplicate that pitch just a little higher up. He did, just didn't get it up. And Rivera lives to see another pitch.
Scherzer went the other way that time.
Yeah, another changeup there. I mean, that's a pitch he wants to bounce. 0-2, he does not want that changeup in the zone. And he'll increase the usage of that changeup on 2-strike counts to right-handers, but that was not one of his better ones. Time to go back up to the velo upstairs. Slider.
And the block. Quick throw down to first, but Rojas is back.
What pitch do you choose? Well, Max Scherzer, you've got a choice of 4. This is incredible to me. This is where his pitches rank in batting average against, obviously all below 200 against major league starters. All of them in the top 7. Kevin, I've never seen anything like that out of a pitcher. With 4?
That is pretty unbelievable. This to short should be 2, and it is. And that is pretty amazing. Usually a guy has 1, maybe there's 2, 4 put out pitches.
Yeah, I mean, 3 to me was Pedro Martinez. That's Hall of Fame stuff. Fastball, curveball, changeup to me were all elite pitches. All of them he used to put hitters away. You're going next level when you've got 4. And again, that cutter is the one that has really changed the dynamic for Max. It's a pitch he picked up a few years ago. Pitching for the Tigers, he said he got tired of trying to strike out Joe Mauer. He said, I need something else to get this guy out. So he developed the cutter to get that in on his hands. And it's become a really good pitch for him. So cutters to lefties, sliders to right-handers. This guy's got a lot of tricks in the bag.
And looking to strike out the opposing pitcher, Chen. And Chen puts a bat on the ball. Long run for Michael A. Taylor, and it's going to fall in. You believe that?
Did you see the count again?
0-2. What is happening here tonight?
Yeah, he's got a smile. Chen is a career .039 hitter, as if you couldn't tell by that swing. That's a 60-degree lob that checks up on the green.
So you're talking about 0-2. All 6 of the Marlins hits are with 2 strikes. Add that on to the craziness that's going on tonight as Dietrich is at the plate. And by the way, that was the 4th hit ever for Wei-Yin Chen. He came into the game 3 for 77 in his career. He started his career 0 for his first 51. And of course, he has a 2-strike base hit against Max Scherzer. Makes total sense.
Oh, wow. That Mark Wagner got hit again, this time flush on the mask. 2 in 1 inning. He sets up a little higher than most umpires. They'd like to instruct the umpires to get as low as possible to use that catcher for protection. And it's really to guard against concussions.
Mark toughing it out tonight. Again, it's an 0-2 count here against Dietrich.
Again, Max trying to freeze the hitter there. Chin's not going anywhere, but Dietrich set the tone, Kevin, right? First AB of the game against Max Scherzer. Refused to go away. Got a single with 2 strikes.
Put a little extra on it, 96, but missed inside. It's 1-2 to Dietrich. 3-3 game. These Marlins have 6 hits. They are not a team that hits home runs or extra base hits or anything like that, but yet they've got 2 home runs. They've got a triple here tonight. As a matter of fact, they've got the fewest extra base hits in the league. This game's filled with all kinds of anomalies so far. It'll be a 1-2 against Dietrich. Down to first, and that's that. But JT Riddle got the Marlins going with a 10-pitch at bat and a triple to lead things off. He was driven in by Miguel Rojas, and we're tied again here in D.C. Tonight's telecast is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes to save you 15% or more on car insurance. Back in our nation's capital, great night for baseball. Just gorgeous here in Washington, D.C. 3-3 game, fun game, too. A lot going on, and glad you could be with us tonight, along with Tom Verducci, our entire MLB on Fox crew tonight. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. And there's been a lot of things happening which we didn't really expect. We've seen a bunch of 2-strike hits against Max Scherzer. We saw the Marlins go back-to-back with home runs. Not a home run hitting team. We have seen Bryce Harper, who's in a deep slump, go 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. A lot of action so far, and here's Scherzer to lead it off in the home 5th inning. Who took a mighty swing his first time up, a flat out to center field, and he takes strike 1 here.
And we've seen this man lose not one, but 2 leads already in 5 innings.
0-2.
We talked earlier about Max pitching that game 5 in the DS last year. Blew a lead there. About as unlucky as you could get in that scenario against the Cubs.
Yeah, there was a
Can I play a little game with you here?
A lot happening then. Yeah, go ahead.
There's 4 ways a batter can get on base without making contact.
Right.
You want to guess what they are?
The 4 ways of making
4 ways
contact.
to get on base without making contact with the pitch.
Okay, you got to walk, you got to strike out, and then you go to first on the pass ball or wild pitch.
Right.
You got a catcher's interference.
Right.
And the 4th way.
You get hit. You get hit by a pitch, right?
Oh, right, of course. Okay.
So 4 ways of getting on base.
Okay.
In succession, that happened against Max Scherzer. Walk, drop third strike, catcher's interference, hit by pitch.
There's Scherzer
Look at him
with
run.
a mighty swing, and he's got a base hit. He swings angry. Fans love it too. And a leadoff single.
Busted it out of the box like he wanted a double. You think this guy's not a competitor? He's got a game face on the mound in the box. Look at him break out of the box. Go get him, Max. By the way, just to complete the craziness of that game 5, 4 batters reaching success in 4 different ways without making contact. It had never happened before in baseball history.
That inning was never. Wow, I didn't know that.
You talk about bad luck for this franchise in October.
Tom Scherzer's got a stolen base this year. We documented it earlier. Not stealing here. Bobbled by Castro. They will get Scherzer with a big slide. But it should have been 2. Castro bobbled. They only get 1, and that puts Turner on the fielder's choice. We have our first game break of the night. Let's say hello to Chris Myers in LA. Thanks, Chris. Can they make it? I know the AL is unbelievable, but do they have enough to really get in?
You know, I wouldn't surprise me if Oakland stepped up and made a deal at the break. It's been their MO, and they have a chance and a window of postseason play. Yeah, I think they can hang in there. That's a very good offensive team.
Chasing the Astros and the Mariners in that division. As the hitter is Soto, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded to short and then struck out. Good inside fastball his last time up.
I know Castro is kicking himself. Tough to double up Turner. Grounded into only 2 double plays all year, but that was one they might have a chance at getting the second out.
I think he probably was thinking about that.
Well, you know, again, when you're an infielder, you know who's running down the line. You know that clock in your head's going to speed up a little bit. I thought the ball came up a little bit on him. Not sure that he rushed more than the ball came up a little bit. It got him in the heel of the glove. Recovered to get the 1 out. Let's see if Turner takes off in this sequence here.
Popped up a mile high, and it'll get back into the seats.
Chen's pretty quick to the plate, and that guy, JT Realmuto, I put him in the class of Martin Maldonado in terms of just getting rid of the ball and getting a strong throw to second base. It's an interesting story about how the Marlins found him. He was actually a shortstop in high school, a great high school quarterback. He's going to go to Oklahoma to play quarterback. And he had a game in high school, actually against a rival school, Deer Creek. Michael Fulmer, now at the Tigers, was on the mound. Playing shortstop on the other team was Brian Anderson, now his teammate with the Marlins. The regular catcher was hurt, so Realmuto went behind the plate, caught that day. The Marlins scout saw him behind the plate, and a light went off. Hey, we could take this guy as a catcher. He's a good athlete. He also hit a home run over the batter's eye in center field off Michael Fulmer.
Oh, well, that probably helps.
That helped a little bit.
And we've seen that idea before, right? These great athletes, shortstops behind the plate. You know, Tony Wolters in Colorado is an example. He's so athletic back there. He's got great movement skills. 2-2 is the count here to Soto.
Yeah, Russell Martin started as an infielder.
Sure.
Jorge Posada signed as a second baseman. Talked about this guy's defensive skills now are premier. It's not just the throwing arm. I like the way he sets up, the presentation of the pitches. Yeah, this guy should be right back here on the 17th for the All-Star game, representing the Marlins.
Turner not going. Soto waiting, delivering. Base hit center field, and the Nationals have something cooking. Tomorrow, it's the Camping World All-Star Selection Show on ESPN. Lineups, both teams will be announced. Then it's the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on July 16th. All leading up to the can't-miss event of the summer, the MLB All-Star Game, July 17th on Fox. You're talking about Real Muto. There he is. He should be on that team. That's the bottom line. Leads catchers in the major leagues in a lot of categories. OPS, one of them.
Just not sure enough fans know him yet. They know this guy, though. He should be voted in.
Try and introduce him to him tonight, Tom.
Yeah, he's doing a good job back there. A home run, calling a good game.
Now it's Rendon. Certainly good speed on the bases. Soto looks like a sprinter.
Yeah, a lot of trail runners will do that. You're really focusing, especially when you have a base stealer at second like Turner. You go and he goes. A lot of times that runner on second base will just give you a little look, some body language, like, hey, watch me, I may go here if you see something.
What we got here? Don Mattingly coming out. Talked to Mark Wegner about something going on in the dugout, it appears.
Maybe there's a problem with the equipment, bullpen phones, or replay. Sometimes technology doesn't work the way it's supposed to, but
all right, well, not really sure what was said there. Try to overhear the conversation a little bit, but hard to tell. But nothing was said to the Nationals dugout, so we keep playing. So here we go. 1-0 to Anthony Rendon. 3-3 game in the fifth. And Turner and Soto on base with one down. And it's 1-1. I wonder if you're right, Tom. I wonder if it did have to do something with the connection of the bullpen, because now the Marlins pen is up. Maybe there's something going on there.
yeah, remember we talked at the top. Bullpen on alert with Chen. Third time around, hitters hit over 400 against him. That was a pitch that Rendon missed that he wanted to jump on.
Yeah, he does not go deep into ball games. Eliezer Hernandez is warming up. Last time he actually threw even 100 pitches in a game was June of 2016. So he may be getting near the close.
Well, he's in there for Rendon and Harper at least.
1-2. Real Muto keeps it in front and keeps the runners at bay.
He just choked this changeup here, overthrew it.
Remember, Harper on deck. He's had a great night. 2 for 2, 2 runs scored. After taking all that early tee work today, maybe coming out of that slump. Right now, though, it's Rendon and a 2-2 count.
1 for 14 against Chen is Rendon. 0 for his last 12. When he's gotten Rendon, it's been his usual pattern: fastballs up or sliders away. Rendon's got such, we talked about this, such a simple approach at the plate and so well balanced. To me, he's very good at spoiling pitches, fouling them off, getting to another pitch.
3-2.
Just like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good pitch. Got in on him. Hadn't shown him much in during the at-bat. And just this simple approach. Foot's down early, barely gets off the ground. Very good plate coverage with that approach. In and out.
Again, payoff pitch from Chen. Rendon rips it foul. Remember, he just missed a home run earlier in the game. Absolutely smashed it foul. Went on the concourse. Battling here. 7 pitches in this at bat.
He's shown 3 inside in a row. See if you try to backdoor the slider.
And to your point, Tom, how tough Rendon is. He's had 8 foul balls, and this is his 3rd trip to the plate tonight. Just spoiling everything. And so we'll do it one more time with runners on first and second. Rendon to left. That is going to be in there and score some runs. Here comes Turner. Soto being waved in. Here comes the throw. It's high. He's in. Moving down to third is Rendon. He's got a 2-run double.
He surprised me. He went to the changeup. We talked at the top about this is a pitch he has not been able to get down enough. And that's a good example of where he's been leaving that pitch. You know, even if you're out in front, when the changeup is left up like that, it's too easy to hit. And I thought they had a play at the plate here, but the relay throw is unnecessarily rushed and offline. Rojas gets himself set and makes a better throw. They have a much better shot at the plate.
Yeah, it was an aggressive send by Bob Henley, the third base coach. But as you said, it was rushed. He's in. So it is a double and an error as Rendon goes on down to third. And 2 RBIs for Rendon. Now here's Harper, who has ripped the ball twice, and they will intentionally pass him. They won't have anything to do with that. And I have to think that maybe Don Mattingly thinks bullpen here.
Yeah, he's seen enough of Chen pitching to Reynolds tonight. And again, 3rd time around, this is not the kind of pitcher who can give you length.
That'll do it. Wei-Yin Chen's evening is over. With runners on the corners. Rendon gives the Nationals a lead, and then it's Reynolds who is on fire. Waiting to come up next, but he'll do it against the Marlins pen when we come back. his last 3 swings, he's had 10 total bases. A walk-off home run last night, a 2-run home run earlier tonight. Oh yeah, and then he also delivered an RBI double.
Scorching hot.
And so now it is Reynolds again, but he'll do it against the Marlins bullpen, as 23-year-old Eliezer Hernandez will come in and pitch in difficult spot. He's got 2 runners on, 1 down. Rendon's 2-run double has given the Nationals the lead here in the 5th. And they've got the extreme shift on for Reynolds to the left side of the infield. 1-0.
Yeah, Hernandez is going to try to dot that fastball, but especially the slider down and away to Reynolds.
Whoa, lost it way back there. It bounces back to Real Muto, so it does keep Rendon at third, but Harper easily goes to second on the wild pitch.
That was supposed to be a slider, but apparently there was too much butter on the baseball. Like a wet bar of soap. Whoop, there it goes.
Got fortunate for the time being that it bounced back to Real Muto, but 2-0 to Reynolds. Now, looks like they're trying to set the defense here as they looked into the dugout. Fouls it off.
Yeah, I still think you have to be aggressive defensively on the infield here. You're already down 2. I know the infield's not all the way in. Hedging their bets a little bit about halfway. Anything hit directly at you, the runner breaks, you got a chance at the plate, go for it.
Took something off.
Yeah, that's the pitch right there. He did take it off on the slider. Typically his slider's going to be around 81. Well located.
I was going to say he doesn't throw a curve, but that looked like a curveball.
Yeah.
What we have is a 2-2 count. Hernandez. Reynolds delivers again. Here comes Rendon and Harper. Mark Reynolds on fire. He's got 4 RBIs tonight, and the Nationals extended to a 4-run lead.
Oh, you said it, he's on fire. We saw him just crushing home runs and doubles off pitches in the zone. This time, this is just a great at-bat against Hernandez. I said the way to get him out is down and away. That's where they try to go. The slider, he just lost right there. Fastball up and in, sets up the slider away. Why not go back there one more time? He did. It wasn't a bad pitch, but you saw Mark really shorten up on the swing and get to that pitch. Broke his bat. Just too tough to beat right now, in the zone or out of the zone.
Impressive. So Reynolds delivers again. He's had a pretty good last 4 at bats, huh? Walk-off home run last night to end things in the 9th. Home run, double, single.
Michael trying to dial in that bat path right there. Again, he's got a little bit of a loop where the fastball up gives him trouble.
Check if he goes around. That's a yes. It's 1-2. Meanwhile, Reynolds tying his career high tonight with 5 RBIs, and we're only in the 5th inning. Should get at least another at bat, maybe 2, the way this game is going.
How about a cycle? Might as well go for one of those, right?
Hey, it's all on the table. 1-2 to Taylor. Long run for Cooper, but he gets there, and that is out number 2. Now here's Wilmer Defoe. A couple of ground outs for him tonight. Getting the start at second base. Nationals have done damage here in the fifth, though. All the runs charged to Wei-Yin Chen. 4 in total in this inning. It's 7-3. Rendon had the big one, the 2-run double after another great at bat from him. And it's strike 1 to Defoe.
Well, you see it so many times in today's game, Kevin, that third time around for a lot of starting pitchers is where games pivot. And Chen is an extreme example of that. You mentioned the fact that he traditionally doesn't pitch deep into games, doesn't really run up high pitch counts, just doesn't hold his stuff.
Well, you talked about it at the onset, right? His ERA on the road, 9.85. That was in your scouting report. And he was, other than the 2-run home run to Reynolds early, he was pitching pretty well, but ran into a brick wall here in this fifth. 1-2, and Defoe just punches it to right field for a base hit. The hit parade continues for the Nationals in the inning. That's the 5th hit this inning, and they have officially batted around. Here's the 9th hitter in the inning, the catcher Pedro Severino.
Just another emergency hack on a slider away. I think I saw that stroke at Wimbledon today.
It's very possible. And so the 9th man to bat, it'll be Pedro Severino, with a chance to keep adding on. 0 for 2 tonight. A strikeout and a pop out. Hernandez deals outside with the breaking ball. Ball 1.
So you know Scherzer on deck, what he's thinking. Give me an AB with the bases loaded.
There is no doubt.
He's already got a hit in this inning. Started this madness. Set the table himself.
And I think has swung as hard as anybody in this game tonight.
Yeah, he did. He busted it down the line. What a competitor this guy is. Well, he's got his 3rd lead of the night. He blew 2 of them.
Severino gives this one a charge. Forget it. Only his 2nd home run of the year. It's a 3-run shot, and the Nationals have gone off here in the 5th.
That ball was absolutely hammered. When you've got below average velo on a 4-seam fastball and you throw it middle, that's what happens, folks. Yeah, enjoy it. That's the one you know right off the bat. A no-doubter.
Wow. A 7-run 5th inning for the Washington Nationals. Pedro Severino, not a home run hitter at all. It's his 2nd of the year, a 3-run laser beam. And this game, which was back and forth all night long, not anymore. It's 10-3, and Scherzer, who started off the inning with a single, is the 10th man to bat. That will finally do it, but not before the Nationals blow it open. 7 runs here in the home 5th inning. Severino, the exclamation point. Nationals 10, Marlins 3 through 5 in D.C. Telecast sponsored by Infinity and Power of the Drive, and by Wells Fargo, established 1852, reestablished in 2018 here in Washington, D.C. Gorgeous night. Was a back and forth game, and the Nationals just exploded in that fifth inning for 7 runs. They sent 10 men to the plate, and that man, Pedro Severino, going yard. A rocket 3-run shot to cap it off. And so that's where we stand. So Max Scherzer, who had blown 2 leads in this game, now I think probably feeling pretty confident. But here we go, facing Starlin Castro in the 6th. And it's ball 1 to Castro, who, you know, when it was looking good for the Marlins, only in the 4th inning started a back-to-back home run explosion. He and JT Realmuto went deep.
He was 6'4",
2-1.
Well, I'll go back to the other day when the Nationals hit what could have been rock bottom, getting swept by the Boston Red Sox. And after that game, one of their players went to the manager, Davey Martinez, and said, "What do you think about me calling a meeting?" He said, "Go for it." That man was Max Scherzer. But typically, your team meetings are called by a position player, an everyday player. But Max has an everyday player's attitude. He loses them there. And I don't know about you, Kevin, but I wasn't surprised. He would have been my suspect number 1 when it comes to calling a team meeting in a crisis atmosphere. Basically telling his team, guys, we're better than this. It was time basically to call everybody out as a team to say we are not playing near our level of capability.
Do you think there is any other pitcher in the league that would be capable of doing that? Because as you said, it's normally no matter how good the pitcher, they play in quotes every 5 days, right? You think he's the only one?
The only one that comes to my mind maybe is Justin Verlander, but not on this guy's level. No, he's been here longer, more than Justin's been in Houston. When you think about what's transpired since then, as mentioned at the top, the Nationals come from 9 runs down and a comeback win. Last night a walk-off win, and just the explosion of offense tonight.
Realmuto pops it up. Severino loses the mask. 1 out. Whoa. That one tailed back a little bit. Well, in that meeting, you know, you can imagine Scherzer's an animated guy. He's, in a way, he's almost got a football personality to him in some ways. And you know, when we met with him yesterday, so they come out of the meeting next day, they're down 9-0 to the Marlins, right? And they're like, oh my goodness, they come back and win that game. It was an unbelievable win. I said, do you guys need that game? He said, oh yeah. There was no sugarcoating. There was no, well, yes was the answer.
And more so than that, I thought consolidating that win last night was really important. You know, Gia Gonzalez really kind of scuffled through 100 pitches in 5 innings. They didn't give in. That man right there with the walk-off home run. Now you've got something going. Now you've got momentum. Meeting's great. Comeback's great. But stringing together wins now consolidates that feeling that, hey, we've turned a page here. I call that a clip and save game that come from behind the day after the meeting. At the end of the year, you look back and you say, that's where it all began to turn. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but that's something for the Nationals to hang on to, that something is turned here.
One and two to Justin Bour. Tell you one thing, it's woken up the offense a little bit. Certainly they went crazy the other night, down 9-0, won that game. Walk off last night. And consider Scherzer, who has pitched well his last 5 starts, had 4 total runs of support. He's got 10 here tonight. Bour is popped up. 2 down. Let's check in with Chris Myers for a game break. Chris. Thanks, Chris. Now, how in the world, Tom, is it 100 in Los Angeles and it's 77 degrees in Washington in the summer? Will you please explain that one?
I don't know, but it brings back memories of Game 1 of the World Series last year. Remember that in L.A.?
Oh, I remember.
Oh, I don't think your suit jacket has dried out since then,
no,
KB.
I might have had to lose that one, Tom. Meanwhile, the hitter is Garrett Cooper, 0 for 2 tonight as Scherzer tries to get through the 6th inning against these Marlins. Nationals 7 runs in the home 5th inning.
Interesting to see how Davey Martinez will handle Max after this inning. You see the pitch count at 88. I asked the manager about handling this guy. He said, we had a great conversation at spring training. I said, just tell me what's true. Give me your honest feeling about where you are, how you feel once you get near 100 pitches. And I will work off of that. He said, Max has been great with me. There have been times where he said, I feel great. Times you've said, you know, I'm good if you want to go to somebody else. I think it's one of those times after this inning, the manager will go to him, ask him how he feels.
Well, he's throwing 96 first. He's throwing 96 here. He's looking for the strikeout here. He's inside. You know, and you're right with the score and the scenario. Maybe we'll see. I love what Scherzer said yesterday, though, because you know you're talking about Chen early in the game, 3rd time through. He just can't get through it. A lot of the pitchers in today's game. Scherzer's quote to us yesterday says, "I'm not a 100-pitch pitcher."
Oh, he said he's built for 130 or more. Of course, he's not going to get there, but that's the way he thinks. That's the way he trains.
It'll be a 3-2 to Cooper coming. Do it again. And he's done that many a time. And you talked about that honesty with Martinez and Scherzer, and I'll tell you when that honesty is going to go out the window. That would be if they get there, the playoffs.
Absolutely.
No more honesty when that happens.
He's gone over 120 this year in a regular season game. Well, they'll do that when he's got an extra day, either going in or coming out of a start.
91 pitches tonight. 3-2 is the count here in the 6th. Runner goes, and one more foul. Do it again.
I give the Marlins a lot of credit, KB, because he's had a lot of 2-strike pitches tonight. And it's not been easy for him. It's been much more difficult than for usual than for Max to get strike 3. Marlins have certainly battled him.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. They've been tough tonight in that department. One more time, a 3-2 from Scherzer. Ball 4. So Scherzer issuing his first 2 walks of the night in this inning, and it gives the Marlins 2 on for JT Riddle, who had a tremendous at bat his last time up.
I mean, this is a good pitch here. This is just off the plate, and it's a great take by Cooper. It fouled off a 2-strike pitch and took one there. I'm telling you, folks, this is not often you see Max struggle as much as he has tonight to get strike 3. You're talking about one of the best put-away pitchers in baseball, and he's really had to labor tonight.
He's only got 3 strikeouts tonight. And for him, that's a really low strikeout game. It gives credit to the Marlins, though. They have fought off a lot of good pitches. Here's Riddle, who is a prime example of that. He had tremendous at bat his last time up. 10-pitch at bat in the 5th inning, and then it ended up in a triple, and then he scored. Severino blocks it. I'm talking about Scherzer throwing all these pitches and going deep into games in his mentality. And then here's another thing. 3rd time through the order, when a lot of pitchers hit that wall, as we illustrated with Chen, they hit 206 against Scherzer. I guess technically it's worse in some ways, right?
Yeah.
1-1 to Riddle. Popped up. Rendon makes the play, inning over. Scherzer through 6. Nationals big lead on a Saturday night on Fox. Home 6th inning. And just as we're about to start, we get a quick timeout. Eliezer Hernandez begins his 2nd inning of work, first full inning out of the bullpen. Brian Holiday is the new catcher for JT Real Muto, and Tom and I were just musing. I don't think he got hurt. Maybe just taking him, giving him a little rest with the score here.
That would be my guess. They lean on this guy a lot. It's a way to get him off his feet, make sure he's in the lineup tomorrow. You get a 10-3 game.
Right.
He just batted in the top of the 6th inning, so maybe get one more plate appearance. And this way you can save the knees a little bit for the next 3 innings.
And he looked fine there, so that appears to be the play. No double switch or anything, so that's where we stand. 10-3. Nationals have the lead over the Marlins, looking to win the first 3 games of this 4-game series after they were struggling so mightily. I mean, last night, just to put it in perspective on how they've been playing, last night was the first time they had back-to-back wins since June 5th and 6th. That's a long time for a team that everyone thinks has a great chance to go to the World Series. Now on their way, they can hold on to winning their 3rd in a row as Trey Turner draws a leadoff walk here in the 6th inning.
Well, since June the 8th, basically a month of baseball, Nationals starting pitchers have 1 win. 1 win in 26 games coming into tonight's game. That was by Eric Fetty in a game in which he gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. The offense just went nuts that game.
It's almost hard to believe.
Especially with this staff. I know Strasburg's been out. He threw a sim game yesterday. And you'll probably see him right after the All-Star break.
1-0 to Juan Soto, who's 1 for 3. Singled and run scored. Soto hits this one to left, deep. But the park will hold it as Dietrich retreats and makes the play. You know, Nationals in that stretch you're talking about, they were 5-17. That's what their record was. And you know, I think, Tom, initially the theory was, well, they had a lot of injuries, and they did. I think that's for sure. But I think that excuse has run out. They've gotten guys back now, and there have been teams that have been honestly more injured than they have this year, like the Dodgers, Arizona, things like that.
Absolutely. And I think that's what that team meeting was about. You know, despite the injuries, and as you said, other teams have been hit just as hard, if not harder. We got to raise our game here.
They've done it tonight. They've done it since that meeting. As Rendon really was the catalyst of that monster 7-run 5th inning. He had a 2-run double, a great at bat against Wei-Yin Chen, and then the floodgates just opened after that. 1-1 to Anthony Rendon.
It's the second time we've seen that slider just slip out of Hernandez's hand.
It's odd because it's not that hot out. You're not sweating or anything, right?
That's why a lot of pitchers actually use something to get a better grip on the baseball. Technically against the rules, but in the spirit of the game, accepted as long as you don't go overboard.
Well, accepted because the hitters like to have their heads attached, right?
Exactly. That last pitch was the reason why. You know, traditionally you'll see guys, I'm not giving any away secrets here, go to the off arm. They've got some kind of formula of sun lotion and rosin. Just the same way a hitter would put some grip on his bat. But it looks to me like Hernandez doesn't have any of that stuff tonight. That's legal.
Apparently that's not working for Elias here tonight. Meanwhile, Rendon has been such a pest. 10 foul balls tonight in his at-bats. Every one making the pitcher work. This popped up. 2 down. Well, we told you about that 5th inning, and the Nationals scored 7 times. Flipping the switch, sponsored by Boost Mobile. Max Scherzer got it going, and then Soto, and then let the party begin.
Yeah, as you said, KB, that was the big hit right there. They had a pitcher on the rope, knocked out Chen, then got to Hernandez with scorching hot Mark Reynolds. Defoe keeps it going, and there you go. Drip, 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 boom. 3-run bomb. Pedro Severino. But
Mark Reynolds.
Sorry, Kevin.
No.
The best thing to happen tonight, and I know that guy's been hot, this guy, and the swings that Bryce Harper has taken. You see there, it's just 2 singles. Even that's a good swing right there, and the pitch away that's been giving him trouble. Much better mechanics on that swing. They wanted him working from the ground up. Watch, he's not going to sink as deep into his legs. The head's not going to get as low, and the bat is on a better plane to the baseball. That's 100% better than what we've seen recently out of Bryce.
Again, if you just tuned in, he was out here early today. Just he and Kevin Long, a couple of coaches, and a tee. Hitting off the tee. And you know what? Whether, as Tom talked about, the mechanical part, the mental part, I'm sure. 2 for 2, couple lasers, 3 runs scored. Trying for 3 for 3, and you know what? He's got it. It falls in there. Turner goes to third. Bryce Harper out of that slump in a big way with 3 hits tonight.
Can we get a smile? Something? Because, yeah, things are starting to turn for you. You'll take it. Was it squared up? No. But again, the mechanics of the swing, much better. You know, he sustained those swings throughout this game, the work he put in, and been on base every time for Mark Reynolds,
who has driven him in every time. Reynolds has tied a career high with 5 RBIs tonight. 3 for 3. And he's got a chance for more. Upstairs with the fastball, it's ball one. And just, you don't want to beat a dead horse here, but just to reiterate, if you just tuned in, Harper came into this game since May 30th hitting 167. He had struck out 42 times in 108 at-bats. And going through all the things that Tom took you through mechanically, hitting off the tee today, resetting.
That's going to make the whole team feel better. Just to give you an idea on Harper, he swung and missed 234 times this year. That's almost as many as all of last year, 259. Contact rate has been down. Not tonight.
You called for the cycle before.
Oh, yeah. I want to see a cycle. He's got 14 triples. Possible. It's a
So,
good triples ballpark.
Two and two. Let's see if he can get it. Gets into one. Reynolds hits his one deep to left center field. Forget triple. It's another home run. He's got 8 RBIs tonight. Unbelievable. Who needs a triple, Verducci?
Oh, it's not done yet, folks. We're only in the 6th inning. Says Trey Turner, you can get 8 RBIs the other night. Nah, I can do that too. I mean, this is impressive. Dude, just barreling up baseball after baseball.
They're standing. They want him to come out. Get a little curtain call. Here we go. Unbelievable. Mark Reynolds tonight. 2 home runs, a double. 8 RBIs, a new career high. Oh, and he also won the game last night with a walk-off in the 9th.
There's Hot, and then there's Mark Reynolds. Fastball up. Kaboom. That's a beautiful swing right there. That's how you hit a high fastball. And again, Hernandez didn't throw hard. You level out on the fastball up, good things happen.
The Nationals are starting to hit home runs. They've got 19 home runs last 8 games, 8 plus if you include tonight. Only the Yankees have more in that time frame. So they're starting to get the power department cooking. Should be the inning. Will be the inning. But the Nationals add more. Another home run from Mark Reynolds. He's got 8 RBIs. It's an onslaught. Nationals up big. That man has 8 RBIs tonight. It's a career high. Trey Turner had 8 RBIs the other night. The Nationals record is by the guy that's placed third for them right now, Anthony Rendon, who has 10. But you know what? Mark Reynolds might have a chance for that. The way their offense.
Not done yet.
No. Unbelievable. What a game.
Well, he can't knock in Bryce Harper anymore. He's
Right.
got 4 times already. Harper's out of the game.
They took Harper out. There's the 2 8 RBI men, both in this series. Harper's out of the game now as they put Brian Goodwin in right field as a defensive replacement. I think pretty simple. The night that Harper has 3 for 3, the slump he's been in, get him out and just feel good about it. There's Goodwin. Gets a rare chance to play. I mean, I know it's one game, Tom, and you don't overstate it, but this is the worst slump he's ever been in his career, and it's been a resounding game for him, especially after all the work that he put in that you talked about today. As Scherzer's 1-2. Nice play by Rendon. 1 down. Wow.
Reaction position. It's really just a step or 2 of range. That's all you need, and good hands. Well, he's got the reaction and the hands. Just 2 errors on the entire season at third baseman Anthony Rendon. He can pick it. But I'm with you on Harper. I mean, this has been a rough go for him. I think even, we talked about mechanically, even mentally, the grind that it's been for a couple of months for him. In fact, talking to Davey Martinez, the manager, it was interesting what he told us about when Bryce, a couple of days ago, was taking ground balls at first base. And a lot of us couldn't figure out, why is he doing that? Is he actually going to be sometime playing first base late in the, what's going on? And the manager told us it was basically, and I'm using my own word here, a diversion, just to kind of lighten things up for Bryce Harper.
Rivera carrying deep, and that is gone. Wow, that just carried on out of here. Yadiel Rivera. First home run of the year, and he gets it off Max Scherzer. Matter of fact, the first one of his career. And it's 13-4. That young man is all smiles.
That's a good first name to get in your book right there. Max Scherzer. Don't care what the score is. Challenge fastball.
Now he's getting hugs. First time in center field tonight. Just trying to prove he belongs, and despite the score, that'll feel good. Nice pick at second by Defoe.
That's something to remember, no doubt about it. Hopefully somebody can fetch the baseball for him. And you know, there may be some people wondering, you know, what's Max Scherzer doing out there? In the 13-4 game, he's over 100 pitches. But again, this is where he gets the rope from the manager. How are you feeling? He's not out there because they want to push him. He's out there because he wants to be.
I also think him knowing that their bullpen is taxed beyond belief has something to do with it. Knowing him and wanting to stay out there.
He's doing the right thing. He's just been pumping in strikes with that lead.
So I think they're trying to get Rivera's home run ball, and you know, the price could be anything. I'll take a Bryce Harper jersey. What do you got?
Oh, that's some serious negotiating going on right there. It's still in his hand.
I don't know if he was saying he wants an autograph or a check. I couldn't figure out what that little.
I think he said he wants. I think I read his lips. I think he said he wants to meet Kevin Burkhardt. Yeah, here he comes. He's coming to the booth.
Somebody locked the door. Well, that's great. I hope he gives it to Rivera. Young man will have that souvenir for a lifetime. We'll probably get some goodies from the Marlins and Nationals for that gesture. Meanwhile, Dietrich on a 1-2 count has popped up, and that'll be that. Marlins had a run. Yadiel Rivera's first major league home run, but it's still all Nationals tonight. home 7th inning here in Washington, D.C. with the Nationals all over the Marlins 13-4 in a game that Max Scherzer started, in a game that was back and forth early on, in a game that had the Nationals score 7 runs in the 5th, in a game that Mark Reynolds has driven in 8 runs to go along with 2 home runs to go along with the walk-off home run he hit last night. Does that sum us up?
Oh my goodness, it's an upside down game.
So Wilmer Defoe is the man leading off. As I tried to summarize, let's make it official as the Budweiser game summary tonight. Here's what we got. Reynolds hit the walk-off last night, 4 for 4, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs tonight. Castro and Real Muto went back-to-back. Seems like a millennium ago for the Nationals. That time it tied the game. And Scherzer has been not what we normally expect. Giving up 3 home runs. He's only struck out 3 tonight, Tom.
Yeah, as many home runs as strikeouts. When was the last time, if ever, that happened with Max?
Right.
Threw about 30 pitches with 2 strikes and only got the 3 punch-outs. But run support, yeah, you're good. 5 starts, really with nothing to speak of in terms of run support. No wins for 5 starts. Deluge tonight.
Yeah, he had 4 runs over those 5 starts. I think he's okay tonight as Defoe draws a leadoff walk there and started off in the 7th. Hey, tonight's broadcast is sponsored by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. And by the LG G7 ThinQ. What's it gonna take? Great shot of the Capitol building. You can see that from way up high where we are here at Nationals Park. But they are doing so much construction down in this area by the Anacostia River. There are restaurants and condos and buildings. It's in the last few years it's built up so much. It's out there somewhere, trust me.
Gotta find it through the cranes. There's 5 cranes, big cranes out there.
And they're really changing this whole area as that is deep and foul off the bat of Severino. So we didn't have this in the game summary. We showed you obviously Yadiel Rivera, his first major league home run. This guy caught it, and I feel like he's negotiating for the Louisiana Purchase. It's going on a long time.
Well, he finally gave up the baseball. We don't know what he's getting in return, but at least he did turn it over to a Nationals Park employee there. And he'll get it back to Yadi. He's going to get a bat. A bat for a ball? That's a good trade.
Wait, but all that for a bat? I mean, that went on a long time for a bat.
And a visit with Kevin Burkhardt.
Right. That's
I'm telling you, that was the sweetener in the deal.
That's the game changer. I mean, there was a lot of chatter going on. So does he get just a bat, or does he get to pick like whose bat he gets? How does that part work, do you think?
Does he ask for a Bryce Harper bat?
You got to shoot for the moon, don't you? Severino popped him up. Had the 3-run home run his last at bat. Not so much this time for the first out of the inning. Well, we have other games going on like the Dodgers and Angels. How about a little Mike Trout update, Chris Myers? Chris, thanks. I know Chris Myers would have had a quicker negotiation for the kid's home run ball, right? So Max Scherzer's day is done because here's Matt Adams, who will pinch hit for Scherzer tonight. So Scherzer goes 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 home runs, and only the 3 strikeouts. But with plenty of run support and giving them 7 innings to rest what had been a pretty weary bullpen.
Yeah, Davey Martinez telling us he wasn't sure even if Sean Doolittle, the closer, was available tonight because of how much he's worked recently. But not a lot of stress tonight for the Washington bullpen.
Henry Blanco's got the book out. Little cue shot from Adams. It hits the bag. It's a fair ball, and it keeps on going. You know, sometimes it's just one of those nights.
And it's been one of those nights for Hernandez. That's about the third or fourth hit that he's given up that was not hit hard at all. And this one somehow just stayed fair right down the line, right off the end of the bat. And that is a little cue ball right there. Stayed fair.
See, Tom, all you got to do to beat the shift is go the other way. Simple as that. Even though I'm pretty sure Matt would prefer to put one 35 rows deep in right center, he'll take it. So immediately at the mound, Eliezer Hernandez is kind of taking one for the team a little bit here with the Marlins down big, and their bullpen's been used a ton lately too. And so he stays in at 57 pitches out of the pen, his third inning of work. Trey Turner back to the top of the order. Check this out. 2 players with 8 RBIs in a 3-game span, because Turner did it on Thursday. Well, that hasn't happened in a pretty long time.
A couple of Hall of Famers. Good company.
Wow.
61 Giants, Mays and Cepeda.
Yeah, but Reynolds might have a chance for more. Here's Turner delivering to center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. And the runners will all move up 1. I think they're just going to try and keep him loaded, see if Reynolds could drive in 3 more.
Well, you got to feel for Hernandez a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, he's in a position where he's saving the bullpen, but he's not saving his ERA. And he might not be saving his spot on the roster. This happens a lot where players with options pick up enough innings where you're not available for a few days, and that means you get sent down to the minor leagues, replaced by a fresh arm.
Yeah, and the Marlins' back end of the bullpen is pretty darn good, but they have shuffled other parts in and out. And so Hernandez remains in. Bases loaded for Juan Soto, 1 for 4, with a single and a run scored tonight. And Soto takes ball 1. He has been outstanding since being called up. 10 doubles, 8 home runs, 24 RBIs. 2-0.
The guy he reminds me of at this age is actually a little bit younger. Carlos Delgado.
I wouldn't have thought of that. Why?
Well, because of what you mentioned earlier, Kevin, the power to the opposite field. About a little statistical comparison. First 42 games.
Oh, wow.
How about that? Now, Carlos got off to an unbelievable start in his major league career. Actually had to go back down to the minor leagues. He cooled off significantly. But I see a lot of similarities in their balance at the plate, the setup at the plate, the swing very similar, but especially the ability to drive the ball the other way at such a young age.
And we talked about this a long time ago in this game, but he's hit to the opposite field more than he's pulled this year. Such poise for that age. And obviously got a lot of gifts and a lot of power. 3-1, good count here. Bases loaded. Rips this one, just crushed, and it's a fair ball. This might clear him. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Turner will stop. It's a 2-run double for Juan Soto, and the Nationals keep on piling on.
He can pull it too.
Yes, he can.
Fastball in at 89. Great balance. Just sneaks it in. Unfair side of the line. That's a hitter who hits from the ground up. His base is so stable. We got a good one right there. One of the hardest things for a young hitter is to learn what's a strike, what's a ball. You try to make a living in this game outside of the strike zone, it'll be a short living. And to have it a gift already at 19 for Soto, that's something special.
Pinch hitter is Spencer Keyboom now. So Anthony Rendon is done with the score 15-4. Has given him a little rest. Here's Keyboom, who's the backup catcher. We're kind of a catcher rotation now with Wieters out, with Kieboom and Severino. Kieboom started last night and gets a pinch hitting spot here, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, those guys fighting to get to the bat rack. Put me in, coach.
Oh yeah,
they're swinging it tonight.
You know, I know Murphy's not playing today, but I got to think, hey, you know what? I think my knee feels okay. As the Marlins finally have action in the pen. The Nationals have 32 runs in these 3 games so far. 32 runs. This is for a team that was slumping. They have woken up. They erased a 9-0 deficit Thursday to win. They had a walk-off win last night, and they have gone ballistic here tonight. 15 runs, 15 hits, 8 RBIs for Mark Reynolds, who's 2 hitters away. Right now it's 1-2 to Kieboom, and Kieboom hits one to center. Look at a run in as Turner on third will come home easily. Sac fly RBI for Spencer Kieboom. It's 16-4. And I think Don Mattingly has seen enough from Eliezer Hernandez, who clearly took one for the team here and stayed out there as long as he could. But he has come to the end of his rope, and Don Mattingly will make a change with 2 down in the 7th. Nationals, been their night. Back to DC in a moment. FIFA World Cup semis on Fox. Pogba and teen sensation Mbappe leading France against Hazard in Belgium. Coverage begins Tuesday at 1 Eastern on Fox. Streaming live on the Fox Sports app. And then Wednesday, England and Croatia. That is going to be fun. England looked great today. Croatia with an unbelievable match, taking down the host country Russia in penalties today. That one just kept on going. So the semis shaping up to be pretty great in the World Cup here on Fox. Nationals been pretty great tonight. 16-4 they lead in the 7th. Ben Meyer in, third pitcher of the night for Don Mattingly.
This is a big at bat right here, Kevin, because Babe Ruth is on deck.
This is Brian Goodwin, who came in as a defensive, well, a replacement for Bryce Harper just to get him out of the game because he's been great tonight. But Mark Reynolds, as Tom alluded to, with 8 RBIs waiting on deck. So if Goodwin can keep it going, Who knows what Mark Reynolds can do? 2 home runs already. And by the way, he's got 3 home runs his last 5 at bats going back to last night. So there's that too. 1-1 to Brian Goodwin, his first at bat here tonight. And it's 2-1 inside as Meyer working his first batter.
Growing pains for the Marlins. You mentioned the back of the bullpen, really good. Getting there. You get a lot of young arms. Meyer's another one, a little more velo than Hernandez. Fastball slider combo.
Goodwin, base hit. And won't you know it, they stopped Soto at third. Got to keep him on base, of course, for Mark Reynolds, right? Tonight's Gatorade proven performance. I think this is an obvious choice.
First time up, fastball for a home run. He's just getting started, folks. Off-speed pitch, hooks the double for another RBI. Got a 2-run single right here. How about a 3-run bomb on a fastball up? 8 RBIs, career high, 4 hits, 3 extra base hits, as you mentioned. A walk-off last night.
Crowd knows it. Here's Reynolds taking fastball, strike 1. I wonder if Anthony Rendon is nervous. His team record 10 RBIs is in jeopardy right now.
Yeah, forget the cycle. These people want to see another long ball from Mark Reynolds.
What a night.
It's a funny game. The guy couldn't find a job this winter. Signed a minor league contract.
Left side, off the glove. Here comes another run, and another run. 18-4. Mark Reynolds has 10 RBIs, assuming they score that a base hit.
Yeah, that's a base hit in my book.
It is officially a base hit and tying a Nationals record. 10 runs batted in for Reynolds tonight. Wow.
The second hop is going to just take off on Rojas. Can do no wrong, Mark Reynolds.
Truly unbelievable. As Michael A. Taylor is your hitter.
Five for 5, 10 RBIs. 6 straight hits dating back to last night.
And Tom, consider this. You know, I think Mark Reynolds has to give an assist to Bob Henley, the third base coach, because remember, he held Juan Soto on the base hit by Goodwin, so he kind of helped him
Don't
out.
worry, Mark's coming up next. You're good. We'll get you in. A lot of great players in this game have never had a night like this one.
You are correct. 5 for 5, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. And by the way, the Nationals have batted around for the second time tonight. Taylor gets into one. This one is deep and carrying just in front of the wall. The play is made by Rivera. Nationals have 18 on the board. Mark Reynolds is responsible for 10 of them. Incredible night. What happens when you drive in a team record 10 runs? You have to change positions. Mark Reynolds, who was the first baseman, but this game has gotten out of hand, so he moves over to third. A lot of changes here because of all the pinch hitting and things. Spencer Keyboom, you saw him. He's at first. Matt Adams pinch hit in the last inning, so now he goes into left. Michael A. Taylor is still in center, and he makes the play, and we've got one out in the 8th inning for Sean Kelly, who is the new pitcher for the Nationals, replacing Max Scherzer. Martinez, a lot of changes, getting guys off their feet. Harper's had a big night, get him out of there. Reynolds has been amazing, 10 RBIs, and changing everybody around, getting everybody in tonight. Still does have Daniel Murphy and Adam Eaton on the bench, and I presume they'll stay there. As by the way, here is Brian Holiday doing the hitting. JT Realmuto started at catcher tonight. He had a home run too, but was taken out, presumably just with the score to give him a little breather. Two away. Tomorrow it'll be the Camping World All-Star Selection Show on ESPN. Lineups for both teams will be announced. Then it's the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on July 16th. It's all leading up to the can't-miss event of the summer, the MLB All-Star Game, July 17th on Fox. That's right. Be back here soon.
And Kevin has made sure we have a night just like this one for the All-Star Game.
Zero chance, Tom, as you well know. Some summer days get pretty hot and humid here. As Justin Bohr at the plate, he takes strike one.
So I rhetorically asked the question, or brought up the point that not many guys have had a night like Mark Reynolds. Some great hitters.
Yeah, you weren't kidding.
5 for 5 with 10 RBIs. It's happened once before, all the way back to last year in the Scooter Gennett game. Of course, he had 4 home runs. 5 for 5 with 10 RBIs.
And where it stands historically, it's 5th most in Major League history. 10 others have been on that list. As Bohr cranks one high in the air to center. Nice inning for Sean Kelly. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mark Reynolds, it's his world. We're just living in it. Reynolds, 5 for 5, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. Scooter Gennett did it last year for the Reds. Reynolds, unbelievable. He's tied a Nationals team record that was also held by Anthony Rendon, and he hit the walk-off home run in the 9th last night. I'd say that's probably the best 6 straight at-bats he's ever had.
Oh, man. Stay hot.
Just incredible. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 18-4 Nationals. This once was a 3-3 game and seesaw affair. It has been seed but not sawed since that 5th inning when the Nationals put up 7, and they've scored 15 runs since the 5th alone.
You putting him in your starting lineup tomorrow? Trevor Richards, a right-hander, is starting from Miami.
I don't care if Cy Young's starting tomorrow. He's playing
I'm
for
with
me.
you.
Defoe takes outside. Ben Meyer remains in the game for the Marlins on the mound.
Boy, how much has the air changed around here, Kevin, huh? They go from really dire straits and sweep by the Red Sox at home, a team meeting.
I mean, you go
Fall
team
behind
meeting.
the Marlins 9-0 the next day.
Just think about 8 o'clock on Thursday night, right?
And all of a sudden, you've got runs galore, smiles in the dugout. Bryce Harper looks like he's found his stroke. Max Scherzer's getting runs. Strasburg throws a simulated game. He's on track to come back after the All-Star break.
3-2 to Defoe. Who's going to call? Dietrich will make the play for out number 1. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Dell G5 15 gaming laptop, the hero you never saw coming, and by Corona Extra. Find your beach. But you're right, Tom. I mean, I know it's only a few games. It just feels completely different. And you know, you say what you want about Davey Martinez. I know he's taken some heat in these parts for some of his decision making. The one thing he has been from day one has been ultra positive.
Absolutely. Picked up a lot of that from Joe Madden.
Yeah. Bench coach with him for a long time. Severino high and deep. The ballpark will keep it in play. 2 down. He was Madden's bench coach in Chicago and Tampa. He's been on that role for a long time, learning from Joe Madden, but never had been in this seat before, managing a team. And speaking of the Nationals, finish up their homestand tomorrow. Tickets now at Nationals.com. See Harper Rendon and, of course, Mark Reynolds. First pitch swinging is Matt Adams to left. Shallow left it is, but Rojas goes out, makes the play. Quick inning as we will go to the 9th. Only question remains is Mark Reynolds will hit again. Stick around. He won't. Mark Reynolds, the star of the night tonight. 5 for 5, 10 RBIs, 2 home runs, and he's a big reason why the Nationals have a monster lead on these Marlins. He's so good, he's just eating seeds in the middle of the action.
This game's so easy. Just kick back, pop some seeds in your mouth, and drive in 10 runs.
Just like that. Meanwhile, Sean Kelly's is trying to finish it out, his second inning of work. Closing it down for Max Scherzer, who didn't have his ace stuff tonight, but with all the offense didn't need it. Against Garrett Cooper. And that'll get to the seats. The Nationals are well on their way to beating the Marlins for the 14th straight time.
Got one more tomorrow, and then schedule still pretty works for them pretty well. To Pittsburgh and New York for the Mets.
Defoe calls, makes the catch, 1 out. Hey, reminding you the baseball's 2 biggest events of the summer back-to-back with T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN July 16th at 8, and then you can catch baseball's biggest stars. The 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard. It's July 17th on Fox, 7:30 Eastern with the coverage as the Washington Monument says hello. Looking on here for a Nationals rout tonight. And their 3rd straight win and appearing to be turning this Mondo slump around as JT Riddle is your hitter. Got a triple tonight. Nice play.
Oh, he does it all.
I mean,
he ran half a mile for that pop-up. In the shift, he's playing basically a shortstop position. He's just showing off now. I think he's going to cater to the post-game spread after the game. Does it all.
Forget that. I'm hoping he goes to the mound to get the last out. I mean, might as well just add to the resume tonight. Nationals 1 out away from closing it down. Our producer tonight is Eric Billingmeyer. Mitch Riggin, our director. Mitch Smith on the stats. Our entire MLB on Fox crew. It's been fun with you. Glad you could watch with us, and it's been fun if your name is Mark Reynolds.
Finally got a smile out of him there.
It's hard.
Third base coach is like, come on, you're just showing off now. And he finally cracked a smile.
Eating seeds, catching everything in sight. This should do it, and it will. 18-4, Nationals rob. Mark Reynolds drives in 10. What a night. There's the big smile. Nationals have come to life after their slump, and they win it in a rout over the Marlins, take the first 3 games of the series here in D.C. It's a Nationals win. It's a historic night for Mark Reynolds. 5 for 5, 2 home runs, and 10 RBIs. For Tom Verducci and our entire MLB on Fox crew, I'm Kevin Burkhardt saying so long from Washington, D.C. Chris Myers, Dontrell Willis, and Nick Swisher on the other side of the break.